Welcome, everyone, to the Futon Alliance FutonCast 2.0, because it sounds fancier that way. I'm your host, TFA Bro Sidon, as always, and I'm here with a face from the past, because he hasn't been on in probably 6 months. And
6 months?
we have a new friend from Sacramento, California, with the Video Game Bang Gang.
Video Game Bang.
I can never say it right. I can never say it right. Podcast from Sacramento, California, and I'll let them do more introductions for themselves. Go around, start with Drew. Where can they find you other than here?
They can find me at facebook.com/omgdrift. You can help us get to 500,000 likes. We're getting even closer. That's and you can find me at Drew Fishbein and at omgdrift and at Caitlin Ting. There's a lot of places to find me.
And then Aaron, where can we find you, and give us a little rundown about you and what you guys do?
Oh, well, I'm Aaron Carter, co-host of Video Game Bang. You can find us on nerdreactor.com, or you can find us on Twitter at Video Game Bang, Facebook. You know, we're doing all the social media stuff. You know, just a humble guest up here in the north. You know,
the good old north. I miss Northern California. Lived there on and off, sort of.
What areas?
I lived in San Francisco for about a year, and then I lived in Tahoe part time because of my grandmother. So and wine country, where
like Sonoma?
Yeah.
We were supposed to go to San Francisco this weekend because Jalopnik's having like a let's play of the new Forza Motorsport.
Oh yeah.
And it's like open bar and anybody can go.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Especially the open bar part.
Yeah, right?
That's the best part. But big week because it's almost the end of all this pre-release bullshit going on with consoles, and now we'll just have post-release bullshit. It's the launch of the PS4 tonight at midnight in most countries. Some countries technically already have it. So there's been a lot of good stuff, a lot of bad stuff going on with the PS4 this week. The good stuff is it's released, but everyone's focusing on the bad stuff right now. And I'm going to start with the fact that there are so many reports of them already dying. And it's not just an isolated incident. PlayStation did say right off the bat that 0.4% would fail, but it's looking like more than 0.4% right now.
Well, is that accurate? I mean, you're going to hear from the 0.4%
instantly.
More than you're going to hear from the 99.6%.
Right.
That went well.
That's true. But the fact that it's already having drivers issues with its graphics, and then it's also having graphic card failures where it is actually not sending signal to a television, as well as other weird things like I think it's IGN. They press the back of it in a certain area, and the signal cuts out to the TV, just pressing the plastic slightly.
That's not good.
Now, are these just for the websites, though?
No, these are retails. Reports? These are retail. These are retail units because you could not... PlayStation sent all reviewers retail units instead of reviewer units like they normally do. And it also makes me wonder because I know from people from The Escapist and a couple other sites, and I've asked them, they had a hell of a time just getting a unit for reviews. Post or pre-launch so that they can do pre-launch reviews of the launch titles. So I don't know, it makes me feel a little iffy, like maybe they weren't fully done, and also the fact that we are the first launch, us in Europe, and Japan's not getting it till February.
That's the weirdest thing to me. Because, I mean, it's Sony, right? That's their home base.
That is their home base.
Why would you give it to the foreigners before you give it to, your own people? That makes me think, though, that this preemptive launch is to, get a heads up against Microsoft, and they just don't care about putting the little 0.4% out that are going to break. I think they're just we need to get this foot in the door with America and win this console war.
I mean, yeah, over the last, generation, Europe and America, for the most part, has been Xbox country. Occasionally, I know a lot of people with PS3s, but they got Xbox first. So I like your theory a lot on that, getting ahead, but it also makes me iffy because why wouldn't they just launch everywhere at the same time? It just makes me feel like it's a beta test, that we're just kind of like going through the hardware issues for them.
I mean, I can give a little bit of insight on what happened. Western developers were gung-ho to get products out, whereas they're waiting for Japanese developers to really get it all together, so there's like a bunch of strong Japanese titles.
Right. Okay.
Doesn't make sense. I mean, I don't understand why the Japanese developers just weren't developing at the same time. Maybe we just rush things. Who knows? I
mean, it doesn't take a lot to make another game that you've used before, basically.
Right.
There's a lot, we have Killzone, I think is a launch title for tonight, and they have Call of Duty Ghosts, which is already out. Black Flag, which is already out. And Knack's like the big title that I know a lot of people are going out for tonight.
Really?
Yeah. I've asked a lot of people, and they're like, "Yeah, Knack is my PS4 exclusive that made me want to get this," and I'm like, "Okay."
That's funny. I really wanted to know what people were getting the PS4 on launch date for, and if that's your exclusive, then I don't know. Knack does seem like it's probably going to be an interesting title, a Ratchet and Clank feel or something like that.
Right.
But I couldn't see myself cashing out for Knack. If anything, yeah, because that to me it doesn't seem like it's going to push the video games forward, the gaming market forward. It's just going to be another, I don't know, niche title for people to pick up on the PS4,
right?
Between killing people on Call of Duty and Black Flag,
and Black Flag, yeah. I mean, that's how I felt about it, but I knew a lot of people were way into it. Like when Project Spark got announced for Xbox One, everyone was like, "Oh, that looks amazing," and that actually would make me want to buy an Xbox. I was like, okay, so maybe it's just people are maybe trying to move away from FPS a little bit more, a little bit less murder, maybe just something new.
Well, have we seen what the launch dates, or not launch dates, the launch titles in Japan are going to be? Because, I mean, they're not really a first-person country over there.
No, they're more RPG, and I haven't been able to find a complete list, and some of them are contradictory, so I didn't want to bring it up. I know there's going to be probably a lot of JRPGs going on, obviously. And I'm okay with that. I'd play them whenever they come to America, if I ever got a PS3, or PS4. PS3's gonna die soon, sort of. And then the other thing,
I don't know if it's gonna die soon.
It's not, because they're releasing. Yeah, they're releasing everything for everything right now, which I also find weird. If you want to sell a new console, but the developers want to sell games, so it's conflict of interest with the developer and the console maker. We would want to release this. They want to release on as many platforms as possible. I know Destiny. They talked to Bungie in June where they were asking them about maybe a PC release, and they're like, we're releasing on 4 consoles in total. Of course, we'd like to be on as many as possible, but we have no PC release in sight, which makes me sad. But at the same time, this doesn't make people want to go out and buy the PS4 when you can sit back and play on or the Xbox One when you can sit back and play on your last gen console. And save the $400 to $500, depending which you get, or the lots of money.
The early adapters of these systems, I think they're the more of the I need it now type of people. Because I mean, I really cannot see any game that's gotten me pushed to get any of these systems day one.
Yeah,
I mean, we're all banking on the future, right?
Yeah.
Can't wait for stuff like Titanfall, and I want Destiny, but I'm gonna wait, of course, to get the Xbox One before I'm not gonna get it on the older console.
Right. No, and I know, Drew, you're more into Xbox due to Forza.
Yeah.
Most of all because that's your game.
Yeah.
And then Aaron, before the show, you said you're leaning more Xbox One. What is your titles on that? Because Knack threw me for a loop when I asked 3-4 people, and they actually told me Knack instead of Killzone or something. But besides Forza, Drew, what is selling the Xbox One for you?
That's it. I'll be
That
totally
literally
honest.
it. That's literally it.
Well, with my market, it's Forza. Forza does the best. Forza has the best content because you have content creators within there, like all the vinyl stuff.
Yeah.
It's got the multiplayer, and they've dumbed down this Forza a little bit as far as cars and tracks. The last Forza title had 500 cars. This one has 200 cars. And they removed half the tracks for this one, but there's a lot cooler things you could do. I played Forza 5 at E3, whenever E3 was, and it was an incredible game, and the Xbox One was very cool, and I mean, it sold me on it. I have a PlayStation 3, but I'm probably not going to get a PlayStation 4. I just don't see the appeal. Gran Turismo 6 comes out on PlayStation 3, so I'm getting that. And Forza is the only thing I want on Xbox. I'm sure something else will come out, but I don't have it pre-ordered. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't have it pre-ordered.
Right.
I'll get it when I can get it.
Yeah.
Or if they send me one, which I'm still kind of hoping they do.
You're hoping Forza hooks you up.
Yeah, I mean they have in the past, but I don't know. This would require me getting a console for free and a game for free.
Yeah. And Aaron, what's your sell game? Why Xbox One?
Well, it's not really actually even a sell game actually with me. Because everything that I'm going to pick up eventually on the Xbox One, you can most likely get on the PS4 as well.
Okay.
My Elder Scrolls Online, I get FIFA because I'm a huge soccer fan.
Yeah.
But I think I'm just going with the old familiar girlfriend. She has my gamer tag, and I'm just switching over to the new improved version. So, I mean, like I said, though, if there was an exclusive game on the PS3 that really made me, like, want to play that game, and PS4, and I can only get that on the PS4, oh, yeah, I'd switch, I'm not... I like my Xbox, but I'm not that dedicated, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay.
And more people, more of my friends and more of my network's going to be on the Xbox. That's what it really comes down to. It for me is where my friends going to be.
I mean, yeah, friends sell consoles as well. It's like, oh, you're getting this, well, I'm going to want this. And that does happen a lot. I mean, if you watched last night's South Park Black Friday edition or whatever, they were talking about it was literally a war between the children. So it was a literal console war where they're playing it like Game of Thrones, and they're trying to get in early on Black Friday to buy cheap PS4 or PS4s and Xbox Ones. And it was just like, it was hysterical to me because they were all like, well, we should all agree on one console because we all want to play together. And, everyone was divided on, the sillier things of the consoles, of course, but not so much the games. It was always, and I think that divides a lot of people, are the sillier features of these consoles. They're like, well, I don't want to have the Kinect. I don't want to have this. But do you want to play these games? That's my point. Is and that's why I asked you what would be your sell game for it. It's like people this whole entire time have been comparing features and power of a console. I think power is useless when you're comparing consoles, in my opinion, just due to the fact that it's not gonna matter, in my opinion. It's not like you're building a PC where you're gonna always be able to upgrade to the better graphics of the quote unquote next generation.
Right.
And but really, people should base their decision on what games they want to play, what makes it fun for you. For instance, I have a PC, but I bought a Wii U only because I can't play Legend of Zelda on my PC. I can't play Metroid games. I could get ROMs of the old ones, but I want to play the new ones. So that was my decision, not because my friends own Wii U's, not because whatever. It's because it's fun. I I have a ton of friends who have Vitas, but I bought a 3DS because the games on there are more fun to me than what's offered on the Vita right now, except for the JRPGs, which I would eat up. But that's just kind of always been my stance on this console war, is that you're comparing power. And then we had, I think it was last week, we had there was a resolution debate between PS4 and Xbox One, where the PS4 is 1080p most of the time. It is having frame drop issues. They're saying they can patch it. Don't know. It's, with all these recent hardware crashes, it might actually be a hardware issue. We'll see. But
right.
The Xbox One, its true native definition is 720p.
And it's upscaled, right?
It's upscaled 720p.
So those things, I can barely ever tell the difference. I don't know. Maybe my TV is kind of old or something, but
yeah,
I can never tell the difference with all that.
I guess I'm at the point in like my gaming career that I just don't give a shit anymore. I just much rather there be great content, and if it doesn't look as good, then that's great. I mean, I don't, if it looks great, that's great. I don't really, I certainly haven't cared in the past few years. Even on the PC, like I've got a nice PC.
Yeah.
And it looks great, and then I get in the game and I forget it looks great, and then every so often I take a step back and I think, okay, this looks good. Like GTA 5, there's moments where it looks phenomenal, and it's on really, really old hardware.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to look great. I don't care about the hardware. As long as it works, doesn't set my house on fire, that's all I care about. I'm happy.
Well, we don't know about the fire danger yet. We'll see in the next couple of weeks.
I'm sure it'll be blamed at some point.
Yeah.
I remember a couple stories, like when the launches, however, the last generation.
It's almost 10 years.
There was house fire stories, I swear.
Well, yeah, because the power supply of the 360 exploded.
That was it, yeah.
The brick exploded, and then they transferred to a slightly smaller brick.
Yeah, man, it was a brick though.
It's still. I have mine. I have a Halo 3 Special Edition one.
Oh, you do?
And it's a brick.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah. I have to make special room for power supplies on consoles, which makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Like you have to plan that out when you're setting up your entertainment systems.
Yep.
It's but like you make a good point. You don't notice it once you're in the game. Unless you're playing these consoles side by side with the same game running, I don't know how you're gonna pick this out.
Yeah, and at that point, you're just an asshole. I know people do that. I see it all the time. I'm so sick of like the community that just compares stuff constantly. Like,
but this is what they do. It's because they want you to get onto their side. They want you to be a PS4 owner. They want you to be an Xbox owner. So they pick out the little small nitpicky things that don't matter to the majority of people, and they try to tell you, hey, this is going to be 720 native, so don't get it. Go to the PS4. I've had coworkers switch alliances just for that same thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's just an uneducated purchase or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can be smarter with your money.
But
and it's a decent amount of money now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. $5,000.
Yeah.
That's no joke. And we have like my co-host on Video Game Bang, Corey. He's a hardcore Xbox fan. Like he's just diehard. He believes they're the future. They're going to cure cancer one day, and it's going to be through the Kinect scanning your whole body or something like that. So anything you tell him that is against Microsoft, he just doesn't believe automatically. But if there's a small detail, like, oh, your PS4 is going to just smell bad whenever you put it in your room, then he's jumping all over it. So I think that's the type of people that you're getting, that's blowing this 720p type of stuff out of the water. Like, it's unnecessary. Go where the games are at, people. That's exactly where you need to go.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's where's the fun, and that's what games are about. Unless you are literally the top pro gamers, that's your job. Gaming should be about fun.
Yes.
I mean, that's a whole other conversation. We've talked about this before.
Oh yeah.
People don't have fun in professional gaming, and I get it. It's because it's like your livelihood, it's your paycheck.
Oh, some of them do, but
Oh God! I mean, okay, the event that we went to months back,
Which one?
everybody there just was terrible.
What, did they look miserable or something?
They looked miserable. Didn't look like they were having any fun. Like they looked like they were having fun when they finally won, but they weren't fun to
Oh,
watch.
you're talking about, okay. So he's talking about a StarCraft 2 event we went to, and so to go off topic for a little bit, here's the
Yeah,
tangent of the
sorry.
day. That's fine. Here's the tangent number one of the day because this happens all the time.
When I'm here, at least.
No, when everyone's here.
Okay, good.
I do it all the time too on accident. The StarCraft 2 pros. The thing is, StarCraft 2 is fun, but it's the most frustrating game you can play because it's basically a game where you don't learn anything unless you lose. So you do a lot of losing. And these people, they're there, though, to compete at that point. They're done losing. They've done their practicing. Now they're here to win. And the entire time, they're just clenching their chests. Like, their hearts are stopped because they've come all this way. I mean, we had people from Korea. We had people from Denmark. And 2 teams from America. And it was just like, they were there to win. So it's like, once they won, all that pressure's gone. Even if you lose afterwards, you can go, those were good games. Because I've met some of the that was college level. I'm talking like the top pros. They all like, once they lose, sometimes they're like, you know what? Honestly, it's just a breath of fresh air. I'm just so glad it's over with. The pressure's gone for the day. It's just pressure. Like an athlete, like any other athlete you can think of, it's pressure. So that's that. I mean, they're not miserable because they're doing something that they do love to do. It's just at that moment, it's like, Drew, when you have like 20 articles and a deadline all in the same day, think about it that way.
Yeah, yeah. But it's like just gaming to me is really fun. I really enjoy it, and if you're going to be a professional player, I think there's from a marketable standpoint that you should emote a little bit more, or at least put on a happy face. It's kind of like I deal with drivers all the time, and they might be really unhappy, but because they're in the public eye, they just have to put on a little bit of a show. So it was just really miserable there.
Well,
Anyways, what I'm saying is I mean I totally understand that, and I deal with people like that all the time. I don't know where I was going with this.
I don't know, but that was also a small time event. If you go to like an MLG, they're always hamming it up.
All right, cool. Well, we need to go to an MLG so I can see the proper side of things.
Yeah.
You think with these 2 new consoles now, esports will get a lot bigger? So they're everything
hope.
is streaming
That
through both of them. And
the problem with it, though, is it's still better to go through a external card to stream. Mm-hmm. So it's still going to be... I mean, people can start because... One, you can't record. So if you want to record it for future things, like I'm recording this for YouTube, you can record clips for YouTube from the consoles, but you can't do a whole 2-hour thing. It's still better to go through a card to a computer of some sort. But if you just want to stream, you just want to have fun, if you just want to do small things, yeah, it's great for that. I know the PS4 UI for it is really cool. Actually, you can add. If you have the PS4 cam, it will put the webcam in the corner for you, and you can actually watch your chat on the PS4, which I think is awesome. That's great.
Well, my question for you on that is like when the GoPro is released and then you could upload straight to YouTube, it just created an influx of people doing really stupid things with their GoPro. How many streams are there going to be now? I mean, I feel like that's a total double-edged sword. Well, great technology, it's just going to be abused.
I mean, the other problem is, like, we run into problems here with Time Warner Cable. It all depends on your internet, and if you can't get a good stream up anyways, it doesn't matter. You're at the bottom of the barrel, and it doesn't matter. It's same with YouTube. If it sucks, there's a million things on YouTube. The numbers for Twitch versus Hulu came, like websites being watched, Netflix, Hulu, Twitch was on there, Crunchyroll, all those. Twitch beat Hulu in unique views and minutes watched per person.
Really?
50 million unique views for this month, or October, I should say, and at least an average of 100 minutes watched.
Wow.
Oh, well, I mean, that's just a testament of how many gamers are out there.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Yeah. That's a
And
lot.
I think with that being said, I think that it's going to allow this expansion of esports to get even greater because it's just getting bigger and better.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. It's a blossoming community,
But
and now
then,
I guess we have the tools.
But it's going to be another year before the next gen consoles, or at least half a year before the next gen consoles are really introduced.
Right.
Because it was an issue of, I'm being corrected in chat. It was 45 to 30, but I'm pretty sure the person I got it from Twitch said it was 50.
Either way, that's impressive.
It doesn't matter. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There was, my brain. Okay, yeah. So, for instance, Evo, the fighting game tournament. If you're into fighters, they're doing all Xbox 360 this year, except for PS4 exclusive games.
Okay.
So if it's on two consoles, it's going to be on Xbox 360.
What fighting games are exclusive to PS?
For most, I believe Tekken is this time around. Or did Tekken go Xbox? There was one, and I don't remember which it was.
Okay.
I'll let you know in a second.
There was like two, but there's no confirmed lineup yet for qualifiers and regionals yet. But that's the statement that they had. So I don't know what they're going to put on the lineup. You know, it's going to be Street Fighter. It's going to be... they are going to have Smash Brothers again.
Oh, nice.
Melee, not Brawl.
Right.
Melee.
Oh, wow.
Because no one likes Brawl on that end of the world in the competitive scene, I guess. But the whole esports itself, the new consoles won't come in for a little while. And overall, esports is slowly becoming more computer involved again, like back to its roots. Halo built the console esport, basically. Yeah. Halo and then Call of Duty, which is the current shooter, besides Counter-Strike for the PC. So...
Is Counter-Strike still relevant? And I'm sorry.
Counter-Strike Go is extremely relevant right now.
Oh, right. They had Go come out. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Not 1.6. 1.6 is actually dead finally. It took two different versions of the game, but it finally did it.
Fair enough. Oh, 1.6. I miss you.
And so overall, there's the new generation ain't going to affect it much. Streaming's going to go up, though. Streaming on its own. So content creation's going to go up. So there's going to be a shit ton more content. Is it going to be good? We'll find out. But
I mean, they're at least making it easier, which is great.
It'll be more accessible. Because originally you needed a badass computer and an amazing internet connection, which Twitch is actually working on to make it easier on everyone, and on themselves eventually, to make it more accessible, make streaming more accessible to the everyday gamer. So, I don't know. But overall, I don't know how these new consoles... The games are what's going to affect esports more, I think, right now. Because right now, you know, we have Titanfall coming out. That's going to be interesting to see what they do with that, because there are already people trying to see if they can turn it into an esport.
Right.
Because
yeah, that'll be the next one.
Which I'm going to buy on PC because it looks badass.
Mm-hmm.
All that running on walls and shooting people at the same time looks great to me. And giant robots. That really sold it. And that's actually, if I didn't have a computer that could run Titanfall, I'd end up getting an Xbox, to be honest. Then, you know, Halo 5 is going to come out, I don't know, in the next while. Not soon, but...
Right.
So that might make a comeback because Halo 4's scene was bought up by Virgin Gaming, as in Richard Branson, and he hasn't done anything until this year with it.
Right.
So that scene's pretty dead.
Is the Virgin Gaming scene a good scene? I mean, Virgin does a lot of things really, really well.
No, they haven't done anything in like a whole year. They used to focus on FIFA.
Right, I remember that.
They were the FIFA people. That was their thing.
As a FIFA fan, I don't even know what they really did for it. I mean,
They made a tournament that was with a
okay.
large prize at the end of it, and that was about it. I mean, really, for FIFA and sports games, the tournament to go to was WCG. It still kind of is the World Cyber Games. I don't. It is still around. It's still running. I do believe FIFA and a couple other sports games are in it. Madden's in it. EA titles in general are in it.
Right.
So, but that's their thing. FIFA, because they are a European brand, Virgin's a European brand. FIFA was a big to do for them, and they really focused on that for a while. FIFA, and I believe they also had Gears of War. I want to say Gears of War 3 or 2 a little while ago, but they didn't really do anything for the esports scene itself. They had a tournament.
Okay.
And that's not a bad thing. They didn't do anything good. They didn't do anything bad. They were just kind of neutral. It was another tournament to go to and another thing to win money at if you played. Yeah.
It's just like once a year type of deal with them.
Yeah.
They're just done.
They have like qualifiers throughout the year. You don't really get anything except to go to the next stage of things.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, 140,000 on their site right now. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
They only gave out 70,000 for the NHL tournament they did.
Yeah. But they focus more on sports games, which to me a sports game is a little weird for quote unquote esports.
That's for the lazy athletes.
Yeah, it's a basic. I don't know. I mean, I remember seeing Madden competitions on ESPN.
Yeah.
Like years ago.
Was it that one where they had like eliminations? They were on a bus or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep. I remember seeing that shit, and I was like, I can do that. And I picked up Madden, and I was like, I can't do this shit. I'm terrible.
But it's it's a good time. LAN events are fun. They're good for the community.
They are.
Not necessarily esports in general, but it's good for the community. It's fun, and people get to go play and compete in the game they like. So, Virgin, in that regard, I'm happy with them. On the other hand, it's just like you killed another scene, though, by doing nothing with it. Because they pretty much bought the rights to the competitive side of it. But also, I'm a big esports supporter, obviously, so I like anything that helps the scene, and I don't really care about anything that doesn't. So I'm hoping that the new consoles help the scene in the long run.
It's really the long run, though. I mean, there's definitely no short-term game here.
No, but the other problem is that I am not a fan of consoles in a competitive scene due to the fact that it splits a community so hard. And then when you have a game that goes out on multiple consoles, you screw out a whole group of people if it's played only on one of the consoles. But at the other hand, you can't really have both consoles going at the same time from an organizational standpoint. So, I don't know. On the esports end, it's to be seen. And what games come out is really what's going to determine that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
totally. Can I just run with this for a second? Do a little bit of a tangent?
Go.
Is there a place in the market for like local tournament centers?
Yep.
I mean, would that help an esports community?
That will help
because
local.
I feel like in LA we don't really have anything like that.
We don't.
And the things we do have, well, I feel like we have like cyber cafes.
We don't even have those.
And I feel like, really?
We have like 2. And
okay.
It doesn't. Yeah, they don't really do anything. They're mostly for email.
Yes, what people go.
So there'd be a place for. I mean, I think there'd be interest in the place where you pay $10 buy-in, or if it's free, but a $10 buy-in, and there's a competition. It's a weekend competition, right?
Yeah.
There's some that would be good for the community, right?
Local. Everything should be grown at a local level, and that's our problem here in the U.S. for esports. Because in Europe and Korea, who's dominating pretty much everything else except for Counter-Strike, that's all Sweden, the games are played on the local level too. They're small tournaments because they do have those places to go to and just play these games at a small LAN center of some sort. There's one
Right.
that exists somewhere in California in Orange County, but I've never been to it. It's not exactly accessible, but
No, it's not. It's not central.
Why do you think it's not popular over here?
it's our problem is it's new here, in a way.
I
It's
think
getting
it's
more
new,
mainstream.
and I feel like beyond that, we don't want to go to a LAN center just to have fun and hang out with our friends. We want to go there to be the absolute best, and unless we're the best, it's pointless. And I think there's like some negative connotations that are behind like internet cafes and what would be the like a LAN center. And I think a way to get people in the door would to be host these things like Madden tournaments that encompass like the larger, greater community, where it's not like, well, there's the shooter community, and then there's the
There's RTS, there's
RTS.
sports, there's
If
racing.
if we bring it all in as gaming, then it could do a lot.
I was surprised to hear that you guys don't actually have any venues down there in LA. I mean, because in Sacramento there's none. It's non-existent.
Yeah.
Cyber cafes. If they started venues and then made like small leagues within those venues, it probably would grow. But they would have to see where the interest is. Like you guys said, there's a lot of different. There's shooter areas. There's the RTS areas.
Yeah.
You got to see where they're at.
Drew, you need to turn your webcam back on.
Ah, good call. I don't know what happened.
But yeah, no, we don't really have a venue for these things. We have
Right.
MLG come through, which is a big time thing, but we don't have a local thing. Like for LAN parties, for me, is we go to my friend's house in buttfuck nowhere in a canyon somewhere who has a lot of room, and we set up tables and play. But in LA itself, we don't really have a center.
Well, here's another thing though about that. How do you make money? Because that's exactly what they're going to want to know. How do we make money off of this?
You'd have to do buy-ins and stuff.
Yeah, well,
But
I mean,
that's not going to generate enough for a building to pay rent on a building. So
essentially, you have to find a place. It had to be in an industrial park because it had to be large enough. And I'm only just going based off of a conversation I had with a business owner. He pays $1,200 rent a month, and he's got 2 offices and a big bay, like a big garage area, and a big workspace, right? So it's almost impossible on the short term to develop that income that you're going to need to keep the business alive. So what you're essentially having to do is come up with a business, or it's pretty much run this as your side business.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you can generate enough revenue for that to even be possible. But if you have it be really successful for a year, you can then approach people and be like, look, here's what we've been doing. Here's the scene that we have. Pay our rent for the year. You can sponsor the place. It'll be the local center brought to you by LG for what, $14,000-$15,000 investment for the year. You just have to get beyond that and eventually you can get sponsors and stuff. But
yeah,
as far as the short term goes, I mean, you're taking a loss.
In esports, you make money off streaming and sponsorships mostly.
Right.
So in the local scene, like we have events called Barcraft, where you get together and you go to. They do them at Buffalo Wild Wings and stuff like that. And you get together and you watch tournaments, and you drink beer and stuff. But people like Razer, MSI computers, stuff like that, they sponsor these things. They give away free products. It's free advertisement basically. And people actually end up buying some of the products from the organizers of the event. Drew, you need to turn on your webcam. And again.
Sorry, let me try it again. I don't know what's going on.
As I keep talking. And so really really what you'd have to do is you'd have to find, like Drew said, someone who would be willing to do this as a side business, and eventually it can become its own autonomous thing. But getting to that point is really what the work is. You have to get it out there. You have to. Oh, there we go. Drew's face. And you have to really sell this to people like Red Bull. Red Bull does a lot in esports. I was just in the Red Bull quote unquote studios / offices. What was that, like
2 weeks ago?
3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And for a StarCraft thing for Blizzard, and they're a huge sponsor of a lot of teams, Monster Energy stuff, energy drinks, peripherals, stuff like that, computer part makers. It goes on and on who sponsors what. It's just you have to sell it, and you also have to have the clout to sell it.
Right, exactly. And I mean, it's just about going out and saying, hey, I've got this idea, finding local sponsors for every event. And what you can bring into that is if you do these bigger events with streaming, so let's say you have a local event, local competition, and you have a tournament that then gets live streamed. You then get sponsors for there, and you say, look, you can title sponsor the whole thing for like, what, $2,000?
Yeah.
I mean, for these companies, it's nothing. It's just making it seem like it's a good idea, you know, and it's just about really, really strong planning and just
sticking
really keeping the big picture there in.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of difficult. It's difficult.
It is difficult.
Think esports are going up against real sports. So we have the presentation of NFL, basketball, the NBA, you know, and even now MLS coming up.
Yeah.
And so I've seen Evo, and I've seen the commentating for Evo, and I'm not a huge fighter fan. They use a lot of fighting terms that I have no idea what they're talking about. So it's not a real graceful transitional period for your newcomers, you know.
Well, I talked to Cullen. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I've talked to Cullen about this, and what I've noticed in gaming, and specifically esports, is there really aren't any personalities in it, as far like very marketable personalities.
Oh, there's actually a lot. You just never seen them.
Okay, I've never seen them, which means to me they're not relevant.
Yeah, they're not relevant to you. They're not. Okay, for instance, no, you've met one. You met Day 9.
Okay, Day 9.
Probably one of the most marketable guys I've ever met.
Exactly, and that's why he does so well.
Yes.
But I mean, you have to imagine. Okay, there aren't that many people because I did my like market research and all this crap, and there's not that many guys out there. Day 9 is great at what he does, and he's extremely marketable and a very, very nice person, and he does everything perfectly.
Well,
who's the Muhammad Ali
more Day 9s.
of esports?
Of esports, there is
who talks trash and gets out there and is like, hey, I can beat you and this, that, and so forth.
There's one guy for every game, basically. So
a villain in esports is awesome.
There's several villains.
Yeah,
there's so many. There are so many.
But you need villains, not assholes. There's a huge difference.
Oh no. I mean, I'm talking about a guy. His name is Naniwad.
All right,
that's his tag, anyways. Johan. He literally went out on stage and called the guy a little bitch for acting so sappy the last time he beat him. Just like in front of people on this cast.
See, that's
and then got
asshole-ish.
Well, yeah, but he's also the most blunt person. But he says these things not thinking sometimes, but everything he does is for the good of esports in the end, except for when he's calling people out.
Right.
And then, but we have several villains. There's villains in Call of Duty. There's villains in Dota 2, League of Legends. But you also have your favorites. There's the crowd favorites in every single one.
Right, but I mean, yes, there's crowd favorites, but Winterfell is making this point that he says he's an average consumer and a heavy gamer, and he doesn't know anybody in esports, which means in the long run, there aren't people that are that marketable. Well, there might be people that are extremely marketable to gamers, esports enthusiasts and gamers. To the average consumer, these people aren't marketable because they're just not big personalities.
Well, because it's also growing. You have to think about it like this has got big 2011s when esports exploded to the point where it's in Forbes, it's in the New York Times, it's in this. Right. It didn't get that big till 2011. This is 2013. Right. It's only been 3 years. So you have to. It's in a curve. And the balloon's not going to bust for another couple years. And this has been the trend of esports for a while. Is it goes up and then Halo plateaued and then nothing happened. But it's never really had like a bust where it just drops and everything dies. So
right. Well, because it's such a new thing. I mean, there's that room for somebody to come in and just completely dominate.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope somebody does, because bringing somebody that's really personable, that can connect with the average consumer easily, is going to do great for the community and bring esports to another level. I mean, esports needs a poster boy.
There's one guy who does every game. He doesn't play every game. He announces and he hosts tournaments for almost every single game.
Okay.
His name is DJ Wheat Marcus.
Marcus.
And he does everything. And he is kind of the poster boy. But also when you're like, for instance, I know a lot of people who are heavy gamers and they're average consumers, but they go out and they buy a Razer mouse. When you look at the back of a Razer product, it says on the back, it shows a player and who uses this mouse nowadays. It's like In Control from Team Evil Geniuses. Or you go out and you buy something from TT Esports, which is their gaming brand. People don't even know what esports are, but they buy these keyboards. It says White Raw on it.
Yeah, but see, but those are gamers. Because I'm gonna make 2 points really quick. One second, I'm sorry, I got to stand up in front of my mic. All right, so I consider myself a decent gamer on the PC.
Right.
This mouse is from General Electronics, and this mouse is from Logitech. I'm literally the average consumer in this case, and so. Well,
you're not like the heavy gamer that goes out and buys peripherals for the sake of performance.
Exactly.
You're the bottom level. Exactly. Like I'm talking about people like Winterfell, who goes out and does these things. I mean, you buy a new Intel processor, Team Evil Geniuses on the damn box. Like, that's where it's coming from. And it is actually growing it. It's slowly growing it because it's a computer part. Not everyone's going out buying Intel processors. Right. But that's also computer builders. That's where it's slowly becoming a bigger and bigger thing. It's
here's another thing about esports, another question, because we've got down that it may need a poster boy, but what about the idea? Is there one game maybe? Because I mean, we have esports for all different genres, but is there one that is like the dominant? Like everybody needs to watch this one game, because you don't have multiple things distracting you whenever you're watching any other type of sport. You have that one sport.
Right.
With e-games, you have fighters, RTS, shooters, everything. Right. So we're all over the board. So maybe if they focused on one genre and they just pushed hard on that and advertised the mess out of it. I think Twitch already does a pretty decent job at showing the tournaments where they're at, for the different genres. But maybe we just need one actual genre in the forefront, like a shooter or something like that. Something that'll appeal to more people than just the RTS crowd or
the largest right now is League of Legends, StarCraft 2, and Dota 2. Because when you watch these, even though you may not understand it, you recognize something went boom and died.
Yeah.
And that is generally easy to follow. And I've actually met a lot of people over the last year going to these things, talking to people, talking to all kinds of like Call of Duty people would walk over and look at this during MLG, for instance, which was StarCraft 2, Call of Duty, Black Ops 2, and League of Legends. And, the League people will come over. They already know the game because everyone who plays League plays StarCraft and vice versa pretty much, unless they didn't or they know about StarCraft. And then Call of Duty people who know nothing about either of these games would bleed off and go to League of Legends, for instance, and look at that and go, oh, that's cool. And then they'd say, well, it's free to play, go play it. And then people would look at StarCraft and they're like, hey, you can get it for whatever. And some people would go buy it. And I talked to a couple of these people. They bought it during MLG weekend just to play the damn game because they found it interesting. That's the thing is I think the more games is actually better. Not like oversaturation, but I'm talking, if we keep the shooter, we have MOBA, which is League of Legends or Dota 2, one or the other. They're almost over. MOBAs are oversaturated now. Everyone has a MOBA now. There's DC,
I saw that DC one.
I have a beta for it, and I don't enjoy it that much, but I'm not a big MOBA fan. There's League of Legends, Dota 2. Blizzard has one, but theirs is more for fun. They're going to have tournaments that they put on themselves, but it's for fun. And then you have... I don't even remember how many MOBAs are, and I'm beta testing like 3 of them. And then, shooters, the problem with shooters is, except for Counter-Strike, you have a console division. So it's generally played on the Xbox 360 right now. That's the general, because Microsoft gives everyone free consoles when they do these tournaments for the weekend, and then they send it back to Microsoft. That's how they've been doing it, or that's what I was told by the MLG organizer anyways. And then you have, I don't know how many, basically the big ones are RTS, fighting, and MOBA right now. MOBA you could throw into RTS. So RTS, shooters, and fighting. Those are your big 3.
Now, I feel like fighting is quick, so that's good. Yeah. RTS, there's a lot going on. Like when I went to both StarCraft events with you, I didn't know what was going on, and I was interested in it, but I didn't go out and do anything after that.
Right.
I think the shooters have a bigger... I'm not a shooters guy. You know that. I played Halo because all my friends played it. Yeah. But I still think that probably has the most mass appeal.
The other problem, though, with shooters is that broadcasting them gets tricky because you can't do what you do on, for instance, like a sports game or like Counter-Strike, you have a free motion camera.
Right.
And people have learned how to actually use those as like studio cameras, basically. Mm-hmm. The problem with the console ones, you don't have that freedom like you do with the PC ones right now. They're working on it because they want it to be an esport for broadcast. Shooters right now are in a weird area. Shooters are in a weird area.
Well, let's say we get all of that. Let's say the playing field is level for everything. All the tools are there. What do you see being the most successful esport in the next generation?
The next successful thing?
Yeah. It could be a shoot. I'm talking like, let's say the mass appeal that's going to get recognized athletes, all of that.
Well, right now, the mass appeal is League of Legends because it's free to play.
Okay.
It's free to play. You can just download it right now and just start. And I think that's why it has the mass appeal. And even right now on Twitch, it's the #1 game to watch. And then you also have, there's millions of people like playing it right now. It has advertisement everywhere for it in LA anyways, because the studio's here. Right. And then it's the biggest thing you have to sell it to Europe and Korea real hard for it to get popular over there, because they have their dedicated things. They're about Counter-Strike and Dota in Europe. In Europe, that's Counter-Strike and Dota country. In Korea, it's and China's Dota 2.
Right.
And then in Korea, it's League of Legends or StarCraft 2. Not so much shooters.
Okay. Now,
here it's shooters. Here it's shooters.
Okay. So, I think we're just marketing to American companies, probably. We're marketing. Let's just say we're marketing to the American consumer, and then on top of that, it's the whole thing of like, just because you watch sports on TV doesn't mean you can go play football, and football is probably just as accessible as League of Legends. You buy a football, so.
But you have to buy it.
Yeah, I know. But it's a spectator thing. You're more worried about getting people just to watch than to actually play. So, do you think League of Legends is still the front runner in that case?
League of Legends would still be the big runner, I think, because they sell out the Staples Center right now.
Right.
So, that's a big deal. That's numbers. That's numbers. That's what companies are looking for. More companies, anyways, are looking for. And the fact, and then if you go downtown at any point, you're gonna see the League of Legends banners, stuff like that. But it's a big deal because almost every website has a League of Legends banner now, or something about it because it's becoming such a big deal. Not my game. I personally don't like League of Legends. I'll watch it once in a while. It's whatever. But
if we can sell out the Staples Center, why aren't there local LAN centers and local competitions? Somebody's not banking on it.
Because no one has done it yet. That's all it is. In Korea and in Europe, they do it. Here, it's becoming more mainstream.
Okay.
And in a big way. So we might see an influx of these businesses. There's entire bars in Europe right now called Meltdown. They're in Germany. They're in Paris, France. They're in London, England, and Stockholm, Sweden, called Meltdown. That they only show esports and they do local LAN events.
Okay. Well, I mean that's great.
But they have other ones. But yes,
I think it would do really well here. I went to a place in Las Vegas called Insert Coins. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Yeah.
Okay, Insert Coins is like the greatest thing that ever happened to gaming and liquor. I mean, it's the coolest thing on the planet, and I wish they would open up something here like that. For anybody who's not familiar, Insert Coins is it's in downtown Las Vegas, and they have a bunch of like older coin op games, but they also have tables, and at those tables are 2 screens and any system you want.
Okay.
And it's just the greatest thing on the planet. Because you get to sit there with your friends, and you get to have a drink with them if that's what you're into, and just game, and it's great. And I mean, it was empty in Las Vegas, but like.
I mean, Aaron and Anthony Winterfell are having an interesting conversation in chat. So, they're talking about. Why don't you about the commentary and go ahead? Yeah.
I was talking about the presentation in the chat with Winterfell about how they actually had a show on G4. Like I was trying to look it up too, where they actually showed multiple games being played by 2 different teams, and they had 2 commentators commentating the whole thing. So it was actually like a real, I think it was the first esport that I can think of shown in the U.S. that that I know of on a regular basis.
Yes.
And it was awesome to me. I loved watching it. They tested the gamers' abilities on different games.
Oh, is this the WCG Ultimate Gamer? Was that it?
I'm on Wikipedia literally right now looking up all the shows that were on G4 back in the day. I can't see a name that's popping out to me.
If it was WCG Ultimate Gamer, ironically, my StarCraft 2 coach was on that. And
wow.
Yeah. They played no RTS games, of course, but
it was way in the beginning. But I was saying my point was it's all about how you present the games to the viewer. Just show them a way that they can enjoy and entertain them, and they'll definitely be on board.
I totally agree. And then you're saying something about the teams trash talking between each other and stuff like that.
Yeah, he was saying, I guess, that trash talking would probably turn off some players, but in basketball, football, all that stuff, there's crazy amount of trash talking. I mean, all the time.
But you also have the thing with trash talking in a lot of these a lot of these games, these esports. A lot of them are actually already just friends, like really good friends, because they're all part of the same community. And when you get to that level, you're only scrimming against certain level of people, so you all know each other at that point. There is trash talking. Call of Duty, especially the shooters, especially. There is Halo and Call of Duty have a lot of trash talking, pre and post, which sometimes results in pay docs from sponsors, depending on what they say live on air. But
I mean, that trash talking isn't the worst thing in the world.
No,
it just depends what level it's taken to. I mean, I know when Cullen and I hope I can say this, when Cullen and I were going to go to MLG, there's this team. What are they called? Straight Rippin'.
Straight Rippin'. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a team named Straight Rippin'
from Halo.
So I was going to name our team Scottie Pippen. I mean, it's
God.
just it's a tiny little trash talk.
And he was going to do that, but I was going to change it before he turned in the form.
Exactly. I'm just saying, straight ribbon against Scottie Pippen. I'm getting in their head immediately.
The trash talking is like in football and stuff like that is actually played down. I mean, they're reporting everything on the field, but you have your commentators to listen to. Like sometimes they might get something from the field.
If it's really
there's
good.
other things. Yeah, there's other things to distract. So it's like if they present it the same way they present live action sports, you can get away with it.
Yeah,
everything will be fine. You won't have anybody taken off. And I posted the link for them in there. It was called
the Arena. Yeah, I do remember that one.
It.
I do remember that.
They played a lot of Mech Assault.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
But it was an older time, back in 2002. So
I forgot about that.
If they can bring something like that, I mean, they had 73 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, somebody was watching it.
Well, we also don't have G4 anymore.
The G4
not
did
the
incredibly
old
well
G4.
for its time.
No, yeah, for its time. When I first got G4 up here in Northern California, it was like 4 TV shows that they broadcast all in a loop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was
like
X-Play, Pulse,
X-Plays,
Attack of
Judgment Day.
Oh yeah.
This was like, and then they had Cinematech, and Cinematech was literally just cutscenes over and over again of video games, and then some gameplay. I was hooked on that show for the longest. I don't think I saw daylight for a while, and it was good. I don't know why it tanked and went down, but
I don't know why everything on G4 tanked. Like they had Attack of the Show that did really well for a long time, and then they canceled that, and then they canceled X-Play, and then everyone stopped watching G4.
It's definitely not a gaming TV. I mean, do we have any TV channels now that are gaming?
Nope.
Yeah.
Which I find weird, considering gaming has become such a with the casual market becoming so big now. Gaming has actually opened up to a whole lot of more people than it ever used to be. There are people that I knew from high school who used to make fun of me for playing all these games all the time, who are now playing the same shit I'm playing. So it's interesting.
It's huge.
It's in the last year it's grown exponentially. So I don't know.
Well, that's why I think it's just so. I'm sorry. Go on.
There's space.
No, I was saying there's space for it out there on the TV.
There's a huge space for it, and it's just remarkable that nobody's taking advantage of it. I don't think anybody. I think the people that are currently in it see it as like this really nice and great thing, but I don't think anybody is really seeing the huge picture and the multi-million-dollar industry that just esports is alone. I mean, they spend so much on esports. I know
Well,
that.
the players don't. They don't care about that. They only care about playing. The organizers, though, if you talk to people like Sundance, Giovanni from MLG, that guy is only the big picture guy. You talk to the organizers from DreamHack over in Europe, that's what they started out. They're like one of those, happy little accidental success stories. They started out as a LAN in Stockholm, and now it's the world's largest LAN, and with literally people just set up in the Sony Ericsson Dome or whatever the hell it's called in Stockholm, and they just have computers from the back of the stadium to the front of the stadium, and then they have the side stadiums with tournaments and stuff. And music festivals and weird shit. But they were like, once we saw how big it got, we wanted to get bigger, so we just figured out how to do that. So it's like, a lot of these people, the organizers see the big picture. Players don't. Team organizers do. It's just, who sees it.
The minute the first player sees the value in it, he's going to fuck everything up. Am I allowed to say fuck?
Yeah.
Okay. I just said fuck again.
Well, that's fine. So fuck it.
I'm so sorry.
There's no, it's fine. I cuss all the time.
All right.
Not on purpose. It just happens. For instance, In Control, who is a big, he's big in StarCraft and a little bit in League of Legends and stuff because he's just a friendly dude. He's a big guy. He hosts events over in Europe and America. He was a pro player and then stopped. He's basically a commentator and a host, and he saw that. And he was like, you know what? I can help the community more by being a face.
Right.
So he did that. There are people who do that. There's not a lot of them because they'd rather be a player. There's more glory in it. There's more money. There's more at stake, and it feels better to them for some weird reason.
Right. Well, I think that the Futon Alliance should open up the Futon Alliance Center.
All right.
I trailed off there, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, we've talked about it before.
We have.
But
I just Facebook messaged the business owner who expressed interest.
So, no, I think in Southern California there needs to be something because Anaheim is a big esports center because of the Anaheim Convention Center. They all go there. And Staples Center has been doing League of Legends the last 2 years. So the LA County area has slowly become a thing. New York's a big thing. I think if we can get these local things going, there can be national competitions going on.
Yeah.
More like football and baseball and hockey and what have you, where, you have divisions and you do those things. And it can grow to that. And it can become its own thing. I mean, esports has actually been on the table in front of the Olympic council, whatever they call themselves, chair people who decide the games, because chess is a sport in the Olympics. If you didn't know that, so they're like, well, this could also qualify. So they're looking at it. So it's becoming a huge deal. Granted, it would probably only be streamed like chess, because no one watches chess unless you're in Europe.
Right.
But yeah. So, esports. It's a good thing.
It's a great thing.
I think one day it'll be a huge slogan. Thing. Yeah, you just came up with their slogan.
I did.
Esports. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing. I think Martha Stewart actually said that first. What else? Where were we before the world's longest tangent ever existed?
I think we were on the PS4 launch.
We were many years ago.
We've gotten closer to it now, though.
I think the PS4 launch happened last week. It feels like now.
Yeah. But
esports, I could go on about it, unfortunately, forever. But that is not the topic for tonight. Well, it is now. So, PS4 launch. What else? There was the resolution. We talked about that. And then it going into esports, which was a good topic. And then, what was it? Oh, God. I had a list, and it was on that sticky note app, and now it's gone. I think I X'd it out.
That sticky note app is terrible.
It's great and bad at the same time.
Yeah.
Because I do the same thing with my Notepad app, and it goes away. Watch Dogs was pushed back a while ago. We did talk about that. PS4 can stream on Twitch with the camera. They've already done that.
Was that a selling point for anybody?
I mean, as soon as PS4... I knew a lot of people who weren't going to buy a PS4 because it only streamed to Ustream. And then they announced Twitch support, and then they switched sides.
All right, is there going to be an option inside your PS4, saying, hey, do you want to switch directly to Ustream or Twitch?
Yes.
Or do they just automatically switch all the way over to Twitch?
No, it's Ustream as well still. They still have Ustream support for the few gamers that still go to Ustream exclusively. I don't know anyone who really does that, actually.
I don't either, yeah.
If I'm looking for a gaming stream, I go to Twitch. And
Twitch is taking over, yeah.
And the occasional YouTube stream, which is very rare. But I don't know anyone who actually does that, because Twitch is super available, and everyone who ever had a Justin TV account can use Twitch. So, and Justin was huge.
He was, yeah.
It is Justin TV. It's just now its own company. What else? Xbox, I believe you can use the Kinect camera in your broadcasts as well. I do believe they said that. They'd be silly not to, considering you have to own the Kinect.
So, what do you think is tipping then? Like everything so far that I've seen from both consoles, kind of look like they match up. We're both getting, they both have camera capabilities, streaming, online features, TV supports with the apps that come on the systems. So, what do you think is going to push one over the other?
I mean, right now, really, PS4 is like really outselling Xbox One in pre-orders, at least, just due to the fact that one, it's cheaper, and two, there was the flip-flop debacle, where they wanted to do something new, but no one wanted always online, so they got rid of it. So that whole flip-flop debacle really pushed people to PS4. And after that, it was PS4's race to lose.
You know what sucks about that, though? Microsoft, all they really did was listen to everybody and be like a great producer of consoles, and everyone gave them shit for it. Like, we gave them so much shit that the Kinect had to be on, and that, what you just said. And they removed all of those features to make everyone happy, and everyone still gives them shit.
Yep. Because they're like, well, we can't trust you now. But at the same time, what about the PS4 debacle where they weren't going to let you use an outside capture card?
Right.
Originally. And then flipped back on that. I mean, granted, that's not a huge base of people.
No, it's almost nobody.
That's like me and 30 other people I know out of hundreds. So, but...
And you have to pay to play online now, which is fine.
Well, that means dedicated servers. But at the same time, I wonder how well Sony's going to do at the start. Xbox is intriguing to me because Xbox Live has been good for forever.
Yes.
The service you pay for works. I don't get a whole lot of lag because they have dedicated servers.
The Xbox Live service is phenomenal, all things considered.
Even though you pay for it.
Yeah, well, you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
PS4
wasn't the PlayStation Network down for an incredibly long time because of Anonymous?
Oh,
yeah. It was not anonymous.
I worked at GameStop when that was going down, and I had customer after customer asking me what they could do about it, and I just couldn't tell them anything at all. I was like, I have no idea. You're just going to sit and write it out with the rest of everybody else.
It was not anonymous, though. It was an outside group because Anonymous did make a statement saying, we love video games. Why would we take them down?
Right.
So
because you're anonymous. But I'm not even going to talk bad about them. They'll shut everything down.
No. So
I like them. I legitimately like them, not just because I'm on the spot. I like what they do.
OMGDrift.com.
Fuck off. Are they making money on every console, or are they losing money on every console like they did with PS3?
I believe this time they might be just above breaking even, as far as I know.
They're going to sell every PS4 at a loss, but easily recoup it in games.
Okay. I mean, that's what they thought they were doing with the PS3, but it was so expensive, they didn't do that. Well, it was expensive for the time. I don't remember. How much did the PS3 launch for? The good unit.
$399.
Was it $399?
I thought it was more than that.
That was I think no. Xbox was $399. Xbox 360 was $399. I thought it was more. They flipped the tables on each other now.
I'm checking it out right now.
Yeah, 600. 600 at launch.
That's crazy.
Yep, $600. The 20 gigabyte version was $500, and the 60 was $600. I mean, it's a lot of money. I remember how much it was.
Now?
I'm sorry, what's that?
What's the memory space now?
250, I think.
Like that, yeah.
I think it's 250, because... I mean, hell, I have a terabyte drive. I've almost filled this sucker up.
Yeah, well, think about how much flash drives cost in 2006 for 60 gigabytes of space.
That's true. 60 was pretty standard in a lot of computers, too, back then. Actually, it wasn't standard. It was above standard. That's a lot.
We have to download the games to the hard drive on this PS4?
I think there's a lot of install.
Imagine so.
I think there's installs. I mean, speaking of downloads, here's a good thing PS4 did do that I do approve. You can download the day one patch now on a flash drive.
Oh.
And install it that way. So, day one, everyone's going to be getting this same download, so their server's going to be bogged. If you do it now and just put it on a flash drive, plug it in, you're good to go. You don't have to waste 3 hours downloading a patch, which is the estimated time.
Well, that's great, though. I mean, good for them.
Yeah.
By the way, the original pricing for the Xbox 360 was $299 for the non-backwards compatible core system and $400 for the 20 gigabyte hard drive, controller, headset, HD cables, and remote control.
Yep.
Yeah, they definitely switched then.
They did hardcore. Yeah. Like total flip-flop.
Do you think we're getting any different tiers of these systems too? Are we going like the
as far as
a lower space or something like that?
Eventually, but as far as I know, everything is what you would consider a premium package.
Yeah.
Back then, I mean.
Well, now it's part of your whole entertainment system. There's no like lower tier system because they want this to be on the same level or above everything else. In my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I think Xbox is more focusing on the entertainment system.
Yeah.
Which is another thing that's off-putting on the hardcore gamers. But that's also a small subsection of an entire
it's so small now.
That's an eighth of your general sales. Really. But they're really focusing hard on that. It's also kind of your cable. It works with your cable box. It works with your stuff. And it has all these things. You have Xbox Music. You have Xbox Movies, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, right now at launch, PSN's going to have more content available for games. They are focusing wholeheartedly on games, which is more appealing, I think, to the hardcore crowd. So a lot of the gaming news comes from hardcore gamers, obviously, because why would they be in this industry otherwise?
Right.
And a lot of favor gets swung by reviewers, stuff like that, and they're really focusing hard on the fact that Sony said they're focusing on games pretty much solely. It does the other things, not to the extent the Xbox One does, but it does the other things. So, personally, the entertainment system value doesn't affect me either way.
Right.
I'm not.
I think the Xbox does it really, really well, though. It's not what I look for, but I mean, if it looks really nice and it does its job really well, then that's what I'm going to go for. I know my PlayStation 3, like, the menu has so many options, it's overwhelming.
The PS3?
The PS3. I mean, like, there's 9 different tabs and 10 different selections underneath each little category, and the Xbox is always a little bit more simplified. At least it's easier for me to look at.
Can you transfer games from your PS3 to the PS4? Your downloaded games, I don't know what they call them on the PSN. They were arcade games on the Xbox.
I think they're just your downloaded games, or they're PSN games or something. I believe they do transfer over, but they have to have the, that version for the console port over. Like, it's waiting. I think they're waiting on all those games to be available. I don't think every single one is available. Like, I think Journey is. Like, if you have Journey for your PlayStation 3, which if you have a PlayStation 3, I don't know why you wouldn't have that game, but I don't have an answer for that. Nothing from the stuff on PS3 games will be able to transfer straight to it. No, we're talking not PS3 necessarily, but downloaded games.
Yeah, just downloadable games, because that was one of the things I wanted out of my Xbox One when I eventually get one. I want to take everything I downloaded on my 360 and still be able to play it over there on my Xbox One.
I know unfortunately, a lot of the arcade games will not work on the Xbox One as of yet.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
there's no backwards compatibility, right?
No, they officially announced they're not going to be able to do streaming backwards compatible 360 games that you already own, due to the fact that they said they don't feel it's worth working on, because they honestly cannot get it working in a way that would give you a constantly good service, because you have to stream it from the cloud. It is internet dependent, and if your internet tanks, then your game is going to lag. So they feel like it was not in their best interest right now to put out a piss poor representation of that. So they're not working on it as of current. They did tweet that out recently.
I will accept that safe answer. That's what, because I mean, they could easily be like, oh well, we still want to make money off the Xbox 360. That's why we're not making it backwards compatible. But,
I mean, they made so much money on the 360, they need to worry about the Xbox One right now because they sold so many damn 360s.
Yeah.
They're going to continue to sell more too, I believe.
Oh yeah,
I don't think it's going to slow down just yet.
Well, it's going to be the PS2 of this last generation.
You think so?
I honestly think so. Because it's just going to keep selling. It has a good library. Xbox 360 had a good library. And it's still getting the newer games for at least the next foreseeable future, for the next 6 months or so. And once, that's over, people are still going to keep their 360s.
Right.
So I have a feeling it's going to last a while. They're going to do the PlayStation 2 thing where they're going to keep making them for, what was that, like, they stopped making the last PS2 in, like, 2010?
Yeah. No, I think you're dead on. I think the Xbox 360 was designed with longevity in mind. It's just, the PlayStation 2 was really simple, and it worked really well, and everyone loved it. It's the same thing with the 360. Yeah. I think the PlayStation brings a very overcomplicated approach. At least the PlayStation 3 did. I don't know enough about the PlayStation 4. I'm sure it's a fantastic system. I'm sure the controller is still awesome.
The menu's really good, I can tell you that. It's much better than the PS3, by all accounts. The things you were complaining about with the PS3 menu, which I have experienced on my old PSP, because it's basically the same UI, it's pretty cleaned up.
It looks nice. It looks like they're using sort of a tile system.
Yeah. Winterfell in chat.
Oh, no, they're not.
I count the Wii as the PS2 of this gen. I would only disagree with that because everyone bought a Wii and then they didn't touch it. Whereas everyone has bought a 360 and you do have games on it where you're like, okay, well, I kind of need to have this still running. But the Wii, I haven't touched, and now I have a Wii U that plays my Wii games, so... And there's no backwards compatibility in the next generation. Which isn't a big deal to me. I keep everything. Yeah. I keep everything. I do retro games. I have all my old systems. Another good comparison 2 generations ago to Xbox One now. Xbox One is kind of being considered the weaker on the of the consoles right now because it doesn't have natural 1080p. The Wii U does, and the PS4 will. Once they fix this the FPS issue, because it can't do 60 frames a second at 1080p right now. It drops them somehow. I don't know what the deal is. But that is an issue that they will hopefully fix. But the PS2 was the weakest out of the group back in the day, hardware-wise. So, but it also sold the most because of the game library. So again, it goes back to who's going to have the games. And right now, I think for launch, Xbox has a stronger launch title list, for me at least. And launch window, foreseeable launch window. So we'll see what happens. Xbox comes out next week. PS4 is this week. PS4 is going to sell well, but there's a lot of people who are buying both and probably end up returning one that they don't like.
Yes.
Or regifting it because Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of games necessarily coming out that I think would make me want to buy. I'm looking at the day one Xbox games right now. And a lot of the games are already out. We have Assassin's Creed and Ghost and Battlefield 4. I'm not seeing anything here that, other than Forza, that necessarily interests me that much.
Yeah.
We're going to have to wait for the big, strong titles to come out. But it's like any other launch of a console.
But that's also been my point about launch, is I don't buy on launch for the reason that we have launch, and some of the launch titles are good. A lot of them are bad because they were rushed out because they didn't have enough time with dev kits or whatever. But the real, like, we didn't get new Wii U games that mattered until 3 months ago. Now they're all pretty fun. I have Pikmin, and I enjoy that greatly. I have Wind Waker HD, and I have another game, Monster Hunter, which was out for a while, but I didn't buy a console over it. So we're just waiting on. I would wait. Personally, I would wait. One, because there'll be a price drop after E3, because there's always a price drop after E3, and then there's going to be hardware updates that'll make these things more stable. Mm-hmm. As they go down the line. Day one is not a good time to buy a console, in my opinion.
No.
Because as soon as launch is over and launch window is over for 6 months, nothing really comes out for a while that's worth it.
Right.
So, I would personally wait. That's my opinion. That's what I do. It's what I'm going to do. And I don't know how you guys feel about it, but...
I'm on the same train.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yep.
Yeah. There's no rush just yet.
I wasn't gonna wait, and then I realized that the Xbox One had already been sold out. I realized this like last week, and then I decided I didn't have a choice.
Pre-order is. You could probably get one once pre-orders are filled. But, yeah. So, they're doing the old limited quote-unquote supply trick. You want one because you can't get one.
Right.
But, not really. That is what you call games pubs want to see. Yeah, so... I don't know. They're saying they won't have a game drought. That doesn't mean the games won't be good or bad. It's just like usually after launch, all the good games go launch, and then you hit summer, and then you hope for a good game. And then everything good shows up around Christmas time for buying season.
Right.
I'm just reading off chat. So I don't know what to tell you guys about this upcoming launch. Really, my opinion is to wait.
You should go to your local game store and rob people in the parking lot and
get it for free. All right.
Get both consoles and then learn.
I do not support this.
All right, so the Futon Alliance officially supports robbing people in the parking lot.
No, half of the Futon Alliance does not.
Video Game Bang does not support robbing people in the parking lot for their PS4s or Xbox Ones.
Let me rephrase.
Drew from the Couch Crusaders, not the Futon Alliance, supports.
Yes. I'm Bruce from the Couch Crusaders. Okay, so what you do is you wait in the parking lot for somebody to come out, and then you're like, hey, friend, and then you just go home with them and just hang out and you eat some Cheetos, and you learn about them.
About them or the console?
And the console, I guess. And then you rinse and repeat until you've made an informed decision.
This sounds like a creepy Craigslist ad.
It's very creepy.
So if you see someone post on, like, Casual Encounters looking for gaming buddy to let me look at their PS4, it's Drew. Just
It's not me. I don't care that much.
It's true.
I'm sure the PS4 is fantastic.
I'm sure it's great. I'm sure they're all going to be fine. They're going to have good things in all their ways. So I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, they're all... We're going to hear terrible things about the PlayStation 4 for the next 3 days.
And then we're going to hear terrible things about the Xbox. Next week?
Yeah, you're going to hear terrible things about that.
Or it could go the other way because people have so many doubts about it. It might be one of those pleasant surprise moments. Like when you go to a movie having no expectations at all, thinking, oh, this is not going to be that good. Like I went and saw Bad Grandpa or whatever it is, or is that what it's called?
Me too. That's the example I was about to use.
And I actually came out pleasantly surprised. So,
yeah,
might be one of those situations. I hope so.
Whereas when I went to go see Nitro Circus the movie, I left very disappointed.
I'm not surprised. But, not talking about Jackass or Dick House Productions. Voice cracked.
Welcome to the Dick House Alliance.
That is the worst name ever. But
sorry.
Yeah.
Everything comes to a screeching halt.
No. Thank you, Drew. You just ruined everything. I don't know. I don't really have any more points for today. It was mostly PS4 news. I don't. And then, well, you never have anything. Aaron, if you've heard
esports.
anything in the last couple of weeks that we haven't talked about, you're more than welcome to share. because I know you also do this, but I've only been seeing the bad things of the PS4 the last week.
Yeah. I mean, bad news is more entertaining, I guess, than good news, because if they just came out and was like, "Oh, the PS4 is great, everybody," then
they'd be told
nobody would read their blog or their website or whatever.
You're just as bad as IGN.
Yeah, I saw something on like Kotaku where they were like, the PS4 is shaky or something like that, or it's unbalanced, like whenever you put it on a flat surface or something like that, and then they showed that it wasn't, and no, but that's all nitpicking stuff.
Yeah,
let this whole thing blow over. And then you're going to get the good stuff coming.
Yeah, the big thing was the resolution thing, which is a concern for some people, considering we have 4K televisions coming out right now.
Which is scary. I'm not even lying. I walked into a Fry's, and they had like a soccer game on.
It's like I'm there.
Yeah, like literally no lie. And it was the most frightening thing. Because I was like, what's beyond this? Like, that's terrifying.
Well,
but I'm
next is Holodeck. Holodeck.
Oh, well then I'm all in. I'm all in.
Yeah. No, 4K to Holodeck. That's the jump.
It's a huge leap.
Yeah.
Nope. I don't want any of that.
Why? 4K is actually really beautiful and it's a great technology.
It is.
Yeah, I know. It's just...
You don't want to pay for it?
No, it's just so much. I mean, TVs are extremely affordable now. I went on Amazon and I found like a bunch of like 40-something inch TVs I could get shipped to my door for $300.
Yep.
Oh.
It's true. Because 4K is moving in, so all the old stuff's going out.
Yeah.
But like, these games will not play in 4K in 1440p and stuff. I mean, there's computer monitors. One that I almost bought was 1440p. Because I am a resolution junkie personally. It doesn't bother me when I'm playing a console game, but when I'm playing my PC games, I like having everything ramped up to ultra.
Yeah, I get that.
And then, like, we've been able to play on 1440p PC anyways for the last year. But now, we're having trouble with 720 and 1080, or getting above 720. But yeah, that's another thing. And we already talked about that. But we had the resolution, stuff like that. But I'm excited to see what happens.
Me too.
I'm excited to see what happens. I have one I'm getting with a bonus comes in. What? You're getting a 1440p monitor, Winterfell? I'm jealous. Although my 1080p one's fine.
Yep, she's playing on that little TV right there, so we don't really care that much.
Yeah, but we
have our nice TV at her place. Was mine. I got a TV. You probably can't see, but I have like a big 50-inch TV just sitting on my porch right now.
Oh right, your dad's.
Yeah, it's broken. Very broken.
Well, did it get rain in it because it's sitting out on the porch?
No, I just put it out today. It's gonna get picked up Saturday. Unless somebody here wants a TV.
No. Unless Aaron wants to drive down from Sacramento for a broken TV.
I would not recommend it.
I'm definitely good on that one.
Yeah.
You can create a fish tank out of it. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
You should create a fish tank out of the TV. Nothing. I'm so sorry.
You should be. You're a sorry excuse for a man sometimes.
I haven't been on in a very long time.
I know.
So I don't know how to act professionally.
We don't here, really. But that's the fun of it. That's the fun of it.
Yeah.
I think we're good here. I think we can wrap up and call it a night.
All right.
Because we don't have a set time and we finish when we finish and it feels like it's finished.
So closing notes.
Closing notes.
Go to your local Target.
Oh, Jesus.
Find the weakest looking person and befriend him because he probably needs a friend.
Oh, wow.
Wasn't a mean thing. I'm just saying, everybody needs friends. People are not nice. Maybe just hold the door open for a stranger.
People do need friends.
Yeah, smile at women.
I guess the closing note would be then don't go on Reddit ever.
Yes, don't go on Reddit.
If you want friends, don't go on Reddit.
Throw out all of your electronics.
Okay, this is getting bad.
Live on an island.
Nope. All right. Anyways, so closing statements. This is
wildlife.
This is the we had the first shameless self-promotion. This is the last shameless self-promotion for the night. We'll start with Drew. Where can we find you other than on Here Tonight and the Futon Alliance?
At OMG Drift on Twitter, Facebook.com/OMG Drift, at Drew Fishbein, and at Caitlin Ting.
And OMGDrift.com.
Oh, and OMGDrift.com. I guess that has been a thing for a long time.
Aaron, give your shout-outs.
Check us out at Video Game Bang on nerdreactor.com under the podcast tab. You can follow us at Video Game Bang, or you can follow me at YDAAK if you're interested in some of the ramblings that I go up about. And we're also on Facebook as well. Video Game Bang Bang, though. Somebody took the Video Game Bang already, so.
Don't you also have a SoundCloud?
SoundCloud as well is the same thing. Yep. At Video Game Bang, yeah.
That's where it's on my phone. That's where I listen to you guys.
Yeah, we're also on iTunes, but that's being worked out ever since we switched to Nerd Reactor. So, more stuff coming all over the place. Even on YouTube, all under Video Game Bang. Just Google us. We're out there, people.
Yep.
Well, let me tell you, I just liked you guys on Facebook, and everyone here should do that as well.
Yeah. Go do that, people. Follow them on Twitter, etc., etc. Yes. All right, and now for my long one. All right. So, guys, thank you for tuning in. If you are watching this on YouTube, please don't forget to click subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and leave a comment down below. Follow us on Twitter at Futon Alliance. Follow me on Twitter at TFABrosign. It's just above my head. And
or else.
Damn it, you just ruined my whole flow. And like us on Facebook, facebook.com/the Futon Alliance. We do this live on twitch.tv every Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific time.
Or else.
Or else we don't. In which case, it's not on the air.
I wasn't listening. I was just implanting or else at points that sounded good.
And please come and check out our website, thefutonalliance.com. And we'll see you guys next time.
It was nice to be here. I'm never going to be invited back.
Yeah.